Hello, future biologists. Welcome to an exciting journey into the world of diversity for your CBSE Class 9 Biology. Today, we are diving into the introduction to this fascinating chapter, exploring why we need to classify the incredible variety of life around us. We'll start with the basics and then level up through easy, medium, hard, and hardest concepts, unraveling the mysteries of biodiversity and classification. Get ready to explore. Let's kick things off with the easy stuff. We'll begin by understanding what biodiversity actually means and why organizing life is so important. Imagine our planet with its millions of different living things, from the smallest bacteria to the largest whales, towering trees to tiny mosses. This incredible variety is what we call biodiversity. It's the total sum of all the different forms of life you can find on Earth. But with so much life, how do we make sense of it all? If you had a million toys, wouldn't you want to sort them? That's exactly the challenge biologists face. Trying to study each organism one by one would be like trying to read every single book in a gigantic library without any kind of catalog or shelves. It's simply impossible and would lead to endless confusion. That's where classification comes in. So, what exactly is classification? It's the smart way scientists group organisms based on their shared features and differences. Think of it like organizing your school supplies. You put all your pens together, all your pencils together, and all your notebooks together. Similarly, classification helps us put similar living things into groups. For example, we group all animals with feathers and wings into birds, and those that give birth to live young and feed them milk into mammals. This systematic grouping makes it much easier to identify, understand, and learn about the vast array of life forms on our planet. Time for some quick questions to check your understanding. What does the term biodiversity mean? Why is it difficult to study all organisms individually without a system? And what is the main purpose of biological classification? Think about these, and you'll have a strong foundation for our next level. Ready to dive a little deeper? At the medium level, we'll explore the vastness of life more closely and understand the profound necessity of classification. Biodiversity isn't just about different species, it's a rich tapestry involving genetic diversity within species, the sheer number of species, and the variety of ecosystems. Each unique organism has adapted over millions of years to its specific niche. Scientists estimate there could be anywhere from nearly 9 million to a trillion species on Earth, yet we've formally identified only a fraction, about 1.2 million. This immense scale truly emphasizes the monumental task of understanding life without a structured system. Imagine trying to manage a global postal service without addresses or zip codes. Chaos. That's why classification is not just helpful, it's absolutely essential. The need for classification is multifaceted. Firstly, it allows for a systematic study of organisms, bringing order to biological information. Secondly, it helps us uncover the evolutionary relationships between different life forms, revealing how they are connected through shared ancestry. We can trace their family tree, so to speak. Thirdly, once an organism is classified into a group, we can predict many of its characteristics based on what we already know about other members of that group. This predictive power saves immense time and effort in research. For example, if we find a new plant classified as a legume, we can immediately infer many of its properties. So, what criteria do biologists use to classify? Organisms are grouped based on fundamental similarities and differences. These characteristics can include their basic body design, whether their cells are simple, prokaryotic, or complex, eukaryotic, how they obtain food, making their own like plants, or eating others like animals, and even the presence or absence of a backbone. The key is to choose characteristics that reflect deep, stable evolutionary connections rather than superficial resemblances. These shared traits are the clues that help us build the tree of life. Now, test your understanding with these medium-level questions. Can you differentiate between genetic, species, and ecosystem diversity? Why is classification considered essential for systematic study? How does knowing an organism's classification help predict its characteristics? What are some key characteristics used for classification? And finally, how many species are estimated to exist versus those formally described? Take a moment to think these through. Ready for a challenge? In the hard level, we'll delve into the history, principles, and deeper implications of classification. Biodiversity is typically explored at three interconnected levels: genetic diversity, which is the variety of genes within a single species; species diversity, the number and abundance of different species in an area; and ecosystem diversity, the variety of habitats and ecological processes. Each level is vital for the overall health and stability of our planet. Historically, classification evolved from simple observations, like Aristotle's basic groupings. However, it was Carolus Linnaeus in the 18th century who laid the groundwork for modern taxonomy with his binomial nomenclature and hierarchical system, which we still use as a framework today. His work brought unprecedented order to the study of life. Modern classification goes much deeper than just observable traits. It's largely driven by understanding phylogenetic relationships, the evolutionary history of organisms. A critical concept here is distinguishing between homologous and analogous characteristics. Homologous structures, like the forelimbs of a human, bat, or whale, share a common evolutionary origin, even if their functions differ. They are strong indicators of shared ancestry. In contrast, analogous structures, such as the wings of a bird and an insect, serve similar functions but evolve independently from different origins. Identifying homologous traits is key to constructing accurate evolutionary family trees. The advantages of a robust classification system are profound. It provides a universal language for biologists worldwide, facilitating clear communication and avoiding confusion from common names. It's indispensable for conservation efforts, allowing us to identify and prioritize endangered species and critical habitats. Classification also serves as a powerful tool for understanding evolution itself, revealing how life has diversified over geological time. Furthermore, it aids in managing natural resources, developing agriculture, and identifying organisms beneficial or harmful to humans. However, defining species remains a dynamic challenge, constantly evolving with new scientific discoveries, especially in the realm of genetic analysis. Now, for some hard-hitting questions. Explain the significance of homologous characteristics in classification. Compare Aristotle's and Linnaeus's approaches. List 3 practical applications of classification beyond systematic study. Why is the species concept sometimes difficult to define? How do new genetic discoveries impact classification systems? What are the 3 levels of biodiversity? And differentiate homologous from analogous structures with examples. These questions require a deeper analytical understanding. Welcome to the hardest level. Here, we'll explore the cutting-edge aspects of classification, from evolutionary mechanisms to advanced molecular techniques and their global impact. Biodiversity is a testament to the power of evolution. Natural selection, genetic drift, mutations, and gene flow are the engines driving life's incredible diversification. A core process is speciation, where new species arise, often through geographical isolation, leading to allopatric speciation, or through reproductive isolation within the same area, known as sympatric speciation. Understanding these evolutionary mechanisms is crucial for appreciating the vast and intricate patterns of diversity we see. Early classification systems, while foundational, were largely morphological. However, with deeper insights into evolution, classification has transformed to reflect true phylogenetic relationships. advanced classification systems, like the Five-Kingdom classification by Whittaker, were significant, but even more fundamental is Voss's three-domain system. Based on ribosomal RNA analysis, it divides all life into archaea, bacteria, and eukarya, recognizing distinct evolutionary lineages at the highest level. This molecular insight revealed that prokaryotes are not a single group. Modern taxonomy now heavily relies on cladistics, using shared derived characters to construct cladograms, which are branching diagrams hypothesizing evolutionary relationships. These tools allow us to visualize the tree of life with unprecedented accuracy, moving beyond mere descriptive grouping to an analytical and predictive science. The revolution in classification is fueled by cutting-edge tools. Molecular systematics, particularly DNA sequencing, provides objective genetic data, resolving ambiguities that traditional morphological analysis couldn't. Techniques like DNA barcoding quickly identify species, while whole genome sequencing offers deep insights into evolutionary connections. Bioinformatics, using powerful computational tools, is indispensable for analyzing this deluge of genetic data and constructing complex phylogenetic trees. Yet, traditional morphological and anatomical analysis, enhanced by advanced microscopy, remains vital, especially for fossils or organisms where genetic material is scarce. It's a powerful synergy of old and new techniques. Classification is a dynamic, ever-evolving field. New fossil discoveries, genetic data, and ecological insights constantly refine our understanding, leading to revisions in phylogenetic hypotheses. A robust classification system has immense predictive power. If a new organism is correctly classified, we can accurately infer many of its characteristics. This underpins all biological research, from discovering new drugs through bioprospecting to understanding global disease patterns. Moreover, accurate classification is crucial for addressing the biodiversity crisis. With species extinction rates at an all-time high, taxonomy helps identify, monitor, and prioritize species and ecosystems for urgent conservation, directly impacting our ability to preserve life on Earth and the vital ecosystem services it provides. Let's tackle these challenging questions. How do allopatric and sympatric speciation contribute to diversity? Compare the Five-Kingdom and Three-Domain systems, focusing on the basis of the latter. Discuss how DNA sequencing resolves ambiguities in traditional classification. Critically evaluate if classification is a predictive science. And finally, how does the sixth mass extinction highlight the importance of taxonomy for conservation? These questions demand detailed and comprehensive answers. Continuing with our toughest questions. Describe a cladogram and how it differs from simple hierarchical classification. Provide examples of how bioprospecting depends on robust classification. What are homologous and analogous structures and their significance in phylogenetic trees? Discuss the challenges of defining a species in molecular biology. And lastly, how do human activities drive the biodiversity crisis, and what role does classification play in mitigating these impacts? These require deep analysis and synthesis of concepts. And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into the introduction to diversity. We've journeyed from basic concepts to advanced evolutionary insights, understanding the immense need for classification in making sense of life's incredible variety. For more such engaging and in-depth educational content, make sure to visit synapse.omaps.in. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more amazing learning experiences. Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep being curious.